Okay, I'm recording. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. So we're going to be using Pear Deck today. So if you guys can go ahead and go to joinpd.com and type in the code once it pops up. Can everyone see my screen? Yes, great. Okay. And once everyone's joined, we will go ahead and get started. Give it a couple more seconds. Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and get started.
All right, good morning, third graders. My name is Miss Chelsea.
And my name is Miss Madison.
All right, so we're gonna start off with a quick question for you guys.
Sorry, Chelsea.
That's okay. All right, guys, has anyone heard of this saying, the boy who cried wolf? And it's okay if you've never heard of it before, but I want us to all take a second and guess what it might mean. And once you have a good idea, go ahead and type it in the response box, and we'll see what you guys might know about the saying. Miss Madison, do you mind showing the responses? There we go. To fake something. Wow. I think it means he has a friend who is a wolf or he cried to. That's very good. It does seem very literal, right? He has a friend that he may have cried to that's a wolf. Maritza, I'm interested. What did you put?
That was my response. Maybe he has a friend or he has like little wolf-shaped tears that he's crying.
That sounds really cute. He might. It does sound very literal, right? We can't possibly cry little wolf tears, but in that there's something like a hidden message. And we're going to talk more about hidden messages today in our lesson. All right, Miss Madison. Thank you so much to everyone who responded. Those are awesome responses. A lot of you know the moral of, or the lesson that we're learning today. He told a lie, maybe. All right. So today we're going to be talking about fables, and you guys might know what a fable is. You may have heard of it. You may have heard somebody mention it before. Whatever it is, just go ahead and write or draw a picture of what you know about the word fable. There are no wrong answers. Just draw whatever comes to your heart. And I'm excited to look at some responses. Awesome. Does anyone who's drawing this one mind sharing with us what you're drawing?
That's mine. It's the boy crying wolf on the top of a hill.
Julie, that's so good. I'm so impressed by your drawing skills. I can tell you worked very hard on this.
That was so fast.
Awesome. It was so fast. We have a princess. That's awesome. Very nice, whoever drew that and gave us a descriptive word. That was really important. We have a bunny. Oh, he's a cute bunny. That's nice. A book. Wow, that's awesome. A book that does have to do with fables. Pigs. Who drew this one? Do you mind sharing why you drew pigs?
That's me. I was drawing the three little pigs.
Awesome, Katrina. So you've heard some stories before, huh? Before this class. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, you guys. Oh, little houses. A great video game series. Okay, awesome. That sounds interesting. All righty, guys, let's move on to our next one. I'm loving these drawings, very creative. So while we watch this video, I want you guys to think of the word moral. And while we're listening, think of what that word might mean.
Aesop was a writer in ancient Greece who wrote dozens of stories to teach us lessons about life. His stories are called fables, and the lessons are called morals. Well, what might happen if Aesop traveled through time and lived with us today?
So, Mr. Aesop, is it?
No, mister. It's just Aesop.
Right. So, I'm not sure I get what the story is you're pitching here for a comic book.
It's called The Lion and the Mouse. You see, a mighty lion catches a mouse, and the mouse says, "Please let me go, and I may be able to help you one day." Well, the lion thinks the idea of a wee little mouse helping such a grand animal as the lion is ridiculous, but he lets the mouse go anyway.
Does the mouse have superpowers?
Superpowers?
Or is the lion actually an alien robot of some sort?
No. Let me finish. A few days later, the lion is trapped by hunters and tied up. The mouse happens to be coming by and sees this, so he chews through the ropes to help the lion escape. The end.
What? That's it? Do the lion and the mouse team up to take down the hunters?
No, it's a fable. It has a moral.
A what?
A moral. There's a lesson in this story. You have to ask yourself, what lesson is the author trying to teach me?
You want me to think?
All right, you guys. Aesop himself gave us some very good advice. What did he tell us to look for? Monica, can you tell me what Aesop said to look for?
Like a lesson?
A lesson. So a fable has a moral that teaches us a lesson. Good job, Monica. Thank you.
Just give it a try.
Well, I suppose the lion kind of was making fun of the mouse. And then the little guy proved pretty helpful. So maybe the lesson is even the smallest friend can be helpful.
So with the lion and the mouse, what was the moral or lesson that we learned? Ariana, can you help us out?
I think it was that it doesn't matter how small or big you are, you could still help somebody.
Right. And that's awesome. That's exactly what it was. And that just means everything, right? We can't look at people and think, oh, they're not able to do that. Everybody has their own unique parts about them, and that could be contributions to us. And we can't judge a book by its cover. So let's keep moving on.
Pretty good.
But here's the thing, I can't sell it. There are no explosions or superpowers or robots. Sorry, Aesop. Maybe you can jazz it up a bit with some chase scenes or something and come back. Otherwise, I don't think you'll ever be able to sell it.
Hello.
Mr. Aesop, it's Jack Action from Smash Face Comics.
How may I help you?
Here's the thing, Aesop. I want to buy that little story of yours. Turns out talking animals are really hot this year.
Ah, just like the lion and the mouse.
What?
Well, you never thought the story would sell, just like the lion never thought the mouse would be helpful. But here we are.
Oh.
So you guys, did the editor learn a lesson too? I see a lot of heads moving up and down that yes, he did. Does anybody want to unmute and tell us what that lesson the editor learned was?
I think
Go
that
ahead.
the author learned not to be judgmental about the things that come, because maybe it's not like the biggest popular thing, but it's still something that could interest another group and sell.
So well said, Maritza. So what you're saying is that the editor couldn't be critical that his story didn't have flaming powers and lots of superheroes, that it was good still, right? Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. So as we said, today we're going to be talking about fables. And I want you guys to just look at this picture a little bit and see what you notice. All right, just keep that in your brains. We're going to go ahead and move on. So these are the characteristics that a fable has. And don't worry about learning all of this right this second. We do have resources. You can go ahead and find them in the chat. So when you have spare time, go ahead and grab those if you need them. These are some of the characteristics that a fable has. So animals that act like people. We see the turtle here, animals that act like people. So in The Lion and the Mouse, we had those characters acting like people. All of the settings are generally outside. So the hunter situation was happening outside. And there's 2 to 3 characters. As in The Lion and the Mouse, we saw there was 2 characters. There's usually a conflict. Conflict. Can anybody tell me what conflict means? Go ahead, Monica.
Like a problem between one or more people.
And do you mind telling me what the problem was in The Lion and the Mouse? There could have been 2, so any answer is okay.
The lion didn't think the mouse could do anything.
Right, the lion didn't think the mouse could help him. Thank you so much, Monica. And then we have a villain or a hero. So the villain in The Lion and the Mouse could have been the hunters, and the hero could have been the mouse. So these are some characteristics that are in the fable. So our standard today is recount stories including fables, folktales, and myths from diverse cultures, determine the central message, lesson, or moral, and explain how it is conveyed through key details in the text. So all together, let's read this. Nobody has to unmute. We'll just move our lips. I can determine the moral of a fable using 4 key details of the text. Awesome. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's move along. So before we look at any words, everybody close your eyes. Don't look at the words yet. I want us to look on this side where our pictures are. And let's take a moment and guess what our vocabulary word means based off the picture. So right here we have right and wrong in the image. Maritza, what do you think that it is? What do you think moral means?
I think moral, or the moral is going to tell us if doing something is right or doing something is wrong. It's going to tell us which direction we're going in.
Awesome. Can you go ahead and read the definition for me?
Teaches a lesson about how we should behave.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's look down at that next picture. Let's take a couple seconds and guess what the word boasted might mean. Ariana, do you want to try and help us?
Yes. I think it means like when somebody's maybe like showing off.
Very good. Awesome. Showing off. Can you go ahead and read that definition for us?
It says to brag or show off.
Awesome. Now our next word is clasped. Let's look at that photo for a couple seconds. Gerardo, can you tell us what clasped might mean?
To me, it means to like grab something.
To grab something. Awesome. Can you read that definition for us?
Oh, to grab something tightly.
That's okay. You were right on. That's awesome. I'm proud of you. Awesome. And then the tattered. Can somebody look at that picture and tell me what tattered might mean? Let's see. How about Jodelle?
Like something ripped.
Awesome. Can you go ahead and read that definition for us?
Badly torn.
You guys are all word wizards. This resource is also in that resource link. So if you need to look at it later, it is there for you.
Okay, so before we read our story today or our fable today, we're going to go over some key details that we need to know about a fable. So number one, fables always have characters. So in our fable today, we're going to go ahead and look for and think about afterwards who our characters are. And the second detail is going to be the setting. So where does our story take place? We're going to have to think about that today and answer those questions later on after we read our story. And then third is going to be the conflict. So our conflict, Miss Chelsea talked about earlier that conflict is like a problem. So we're going to try to have to think about and find in the story what the conflict is in our fable today. So here's one example. Who, by the show of hands, who has seen the movie Coco? Oh my goodness, so many friends have seen the movie Coco. That was such a good movie. Okay, so here's some examples of some key details of the movie Coco. Number one, our characters were Miguel and Coco. We also had quite a few characters in that story, but those were our main characters. The setting was in Mexico and in the land of the dead. And then our conflict, we had quite a few conflicts in that movie, but one of the first conflicts that Miguel went through was that his family does not want him to play music. And that was a conflict or a problem for him. And then, of course, at the moral of the story, Miguel was able to play music and he was able to be loved by his family and do something that he loves so much. So that was the lesson or the moral that he learned from his conflict, right? Okay, so let's go forward. All right, before we read our story, I want you guys to take a look at this picture and try to think about what our story might be about today. And we have a couple words in Spanish. Do we have any Spanish speakers in the class that can unmute and tell us what that means? Ariana?
It says el viento y el sol, which means the wind and the sun.
Thank you so much, Ariana. Yes, so El Viento y el Sol. So our story is going to be about the north wind and the sun today. So let's go ahead and let's watch a video that gives us a good picture of what goes on in the story. And then we're going to read this story as a class and we're going to have to try to figure out what is that moral. So when we're watching this video and reading it all together, make sure you guys are thinking about what that moral is going to be, thinking about the characters, the setting, and the conflict, all right?
Playhouse Disney presents.
Can everyone see it?
Hi there, welcome to Circle Time. I'm Steve, and I'm hanging out with all my friends here. Hey, you guys having fun? Yeah! No. Haley, why aren't you having fun? Oh, Eric won't color with you. Well, did you ask him nicely?
No.
I see. Well, is this what you wanted him to help you color? Yes. Well, you know what, guys? This sun reminds me
A story!
That's right, and it goes like this. One day, the north wind and the sun had a contest to decide which one was stronger. The wind spotted a boy walking along the road wearing a big yellow raincoat. The wind said to the sun, "Okay, you big ball of hot air, I'm so strong I'll bet you I can blow the coat right off that boy's back." The sun just smiled brightly and said, "After you." So the wind blew and blew as hard as he could. But instead of blowing the boy's coat off, the harder the wind blew, the tighter the boy hugged his coat around him. So now whose turn do you think it was?
The sun!
That's right. It was the sun's turn to shine. And the sun started to shine. And the brighter he shone, the warmer it got. And the warmer it got, the looser the boy's grip on his coat became. Until finally the boy pulled off his big yellow raincoat altogether. And that day, the north wind found out that when you're warm and sunny, people are a lot more likely to do what you want than when you try to force them. So, Haley, you want to ask Eric to color again?
Please, Eric. Okay.
Okay. Hey, we'll see you next Circle Time inside Playhouse Disney. Bye-bye.
Okay, that was a fun video. Okay, so before we read this story all together, what was the moral that Haley learned in that video? Haley was the little girl that was a little sad in the beginning of the video. Maritza, what was the moral that Haley learned?
Haley learned that if she would want somebody to do something that she wants them to do, that she should be nice and then they would do it, not mean.
Yeah, that's such a good lesson to learn. It's always better to be kind, right? So let's go ahead and read our story. Anna, can you go ahead and read our title and then go ahead and read that first paragraph?
Okay. The north wind and the sun. The wild north wind often boasted of his great power. I can topple towers and drive waves into the sky, he said.
Awesome. And Julie, can you go ahead and read paragraph 2 for me?
One day the sun grew tired of the wind's bragging and said, "Perhaps we should have a contest to see which of us is truly stronger." The wind laughed and laughed. How could anyone doubt that he was the strongest force in all of nature?
Thank you. Awesome job. Jodelle, can you go ahead and read paragraph 3?
He cheerfully agreed to a contest. You pick. No matter how you choose a contest, I will surely win.
Thank you. And Myra, can you read our 4th paragraph, please?
Okay, the sun said, "Do you see the traveler walking on the road far below us? Whichever one of us can get the coat off of the traveler's back will be the winner. An
Awesome.
easy task." Oh wait, I can't see the bottom.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's all right. It says an easy task, he said. Okay, so before we move on to the rest of the story, I want you guys to go ahead and use the highlighters on your screen and go back, and in yellow, can you please highlight our 2 main characters? We have 2 characters, and can you use the highlighter in yellow to go ahead and highlight our 2 main characters, please? All right, we got some responses. Okay, I see someone highlighting the north wind. Oops, the north wind, and let's see, the north wind. What about our second character? The sun. Awesome. So those are our 2 main characters in the story. Awesome job, you guys. All right, and then go ahead and also, can you guys highlight in pink what you think the setting is? It doesn't really say it specifically, but you guys can either unmute or you guys can highlight some details where maybe you think, do you think they're inside? Do you think they're outside? Are they at school? Where does this story take place? Awesome. Nature, the sky. Awesome job, you guys. Those are really great places where it took place. The setting, outside. Yes. Awesome. Nature. Awesome job. All right. The last one I want you guys to think about. I want you guys to use green and go ahead and highlight what you guys think our conflict is. So remember, the conflict is the problem in the story. So what do you guys think the conflict is? What is the problem between the wind and the north sun? Yeah, so the sun grew tired of the wind's bragging. That's a problem. A lot of you are highlighting contest. Awesome. That's exactly what I would highlight, a contest. Yes, so that was the problem they had. The sun was so tired of the wind's bragging and him boasting all the time, and so they decided to have a contest. All right, awesome job, you guys. All right, let's go ahead and finish the story. And remember, we're still trying to remember or trying to think about what our moral is. So can we have Gerardo read our first paragraph on this second page? So the sun stepped.
So the sun stepped behind a cloud and the wind began to blow. With each gust, the wind blew upon the traveler. The man only clasped his coat more tightly around himself.
Awesome job. I'm going to go ahead and read this one. The wind blew so hard it knocked the man from his feet, but he still held on to his coat. Finally, the wind had to give up. Can I have a volunteer for our next paragraph? Monica, go ahead. Thank you.
No one could get that man out of that coat, he huffed. The poor man scrambled back to his feet and staggered along, shivering as he clenched his now tattered coat. The sun slipped out from behind the clouds and shone brightly on the man, warming him.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Carlos, you want to finish the story off for us with that last paragraph?
Sure. As the man grew warm from the sun's rays, he soon stopped shivering. Finally, he slipped off his coat and carried it over his arm. Never forget, the sun said. Sometimes kindness has a greater effect than the
I'm sorry, I keep doing that.
fiercest cruelty.
Awesome job. Thank you so much to my brave readers. Let's move on. Okay, so go ahead and use the text box and answer, what kind of contest or conflict did the North Wind and the Sun have? It can just be a couple words, your best guess. To see who is stronger, knocking off his coat. Yes, to see which one can blow off the boy's jacket. Awesome job. Good job. You guys were all paying attention. You guys were analyzing the text. So proud of you guys. All right, let's move on to that second question. All right, this is our main objective for today, right? So we're gonna give our best guess. What was the moral of the story? And what does that moral mean? So remember, the moral is the lesson of the story, and we can think back to our story. Remember those key details. We have our characters, the North Wind and the Sun. We have our setting, they're outside. And we were just talking about the contest or the conflict, and we were talking about how they were trying to blow off his jacket. So what moral or what could we learn from this story? Kindness is stronger than cruelty. Oh my goodness, perfect. Be humble, yes. Being nicer is easier and can get things done, yes. Being kind, kindness, I see a key word here, kindness. Great job, everybody. Be nice, no one likes mean people. That is so true. Great job, everybody. All right, our last comprehension question. How can you use this moral in your life? Just go ahead in the chat box and give me an example of when you can be kind. So it sounds like our moral has something to do with being kind. So how can you guys be kind in your own life? Give me just one quick example. Be kind, help a classmate. Yes. When I don't want my sister to play with my toys. Okay, yeah, you can share. I can be kind when asking someone for a favor, be nice to my siblings, be kinder to my classmates. Yes, totally. All right, good job, everybody. Okay, so here are the characteristics of our fable again. Remember, there's only two characters usually, our North Wind and our Sun. Sometimes the talking characters, or the characters talk like humans, which they did in our story. The setting is usually outside, and we knew that it was out in nature. You guys found that in the text. So yes, we have a fable. There was a conflict, and there was a lesson or a moral at the end. So that was all the characteristics in our story today, or our fable. Okay, so we're gonna have a little ending session where you guys are gonna do some true or false. So go ahead and give me the big green thumbs up if you think that fables always have a lesson in them. True or false, fables always have a lesson in them. Or give me the thumbs down if you do not think that fables always have a lesson in them. You guys are gonna drag the green or drag the red. All right, let's see what everyone said. Oh, we have so many friends on that green icon. Yes, and we have one friend that chose no. Can someone who said no unmute and tell me why? You might be right.
I made a mistake. I was gonna put right, so I was fixing it.
That's okay. That's totally fine. We all make mistakes. Miss Madison and Miss Chelsea make mistakes every day. So yes, so it actually is correct. So everyone got it right. Everyone went on that green. Fables always have a lesson or a moral in them. Good job, everybody. All right. Our second question, or our second true or false. We cannot learn anything from a moral. Yes or no? Can we not learn anything from a moral? Is that true or is that false? Go ahead and give me your best guess. Oh, are everyone saying false? Yes, no, that's not true at all. We can learn something from a moral. And today we learned that you can be kind, and that's better than being cruel, right? So good job, friends. That was false. All right. Number 3. Being kind is never better than being cruel. Is that true or is it false? Is being kind never better than being cruel? What do you guys think? Oh, we have false. Yes. So being kind is always better than being cruel. It's not the other way around. All right, one last question. Miss Madison and Miss Chelsea are the best. Is this true or is this false? Are we not the best? I don't
It's
know.
okay, you guys. It's anonymous. So you can pick whatever
We
you
won't-
like.
Yeah, we won't judge you. Whatever you guys think, that's totally cool. Oh my gosh, we have some conflicting views up in here. That is okay.
That's okay. We'll
That
just
is-
have to win them over.
That is totally fine. All right. So that is, oh, we got someone right in the middle. Someone's not too sure. That's okay.
It's okay.
All right. So that is the end of our lesson about fables today.
Thank you,
All
everybody.
right. All right, let's go ahead and give a hand to Madison and Chelsea. And thank you guys for staying way past our time. So feel free to log out if you need to. And for those of you who have any questions, stay behind. And for the rest of you, have a wonderful evening. Great job, Chelsea and Madison.
Thank
and
you.
Carlos and Gerardo and Monica. Great job.
Thank you.
So, all right. Have a wonderful evening, you guys.
Ms. Flores, Dr. Flores, I had a
Sure.
question.
Sure,
So,
sure.
I couldn't find a